To understand the motives behind the creation of the COINTELPRO, we must rewind to post-World War II. Following World War II, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union arose. Cold War would ensue between these two superpowers and their allies. The COINTELPRO was created under FBI Director Hoover in 1956 to target the Communist Party USA. What was initially planned as a democratic fight against communism turned into one of America's most heinous crimes against democracy. Among whistleblowers and freedom fighters are the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI, a group of 8 anti-war protesters. Their motives and vision of democracy is the transparency within the government.
But democracy depends upon the rights of citizens to have the information they need in order for them, the citizens, who are the sovereigns, for them to decide what the government should be doing and should not be doing. They must have that information so that they can make up their mind.
On March 8, 1971, in Media, Pennsylvania, the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI raided and stole thousands of confidential FBI documents. They found over hundreds of documents exposing the FBI for using illegal, unethical, and right-infringing investigation, abuse of powers, and propaganda. Among the thousands of documents, an unknown and mysterious codename appeared: COINTELPRO, New Left. 2 years later, a lawsuit was filed against Elliot L. Richardson, Attorney General of the United States, by journalist Carl Stern, who was able to use the Freedom of Information Act to force the public release of 4 COINTELPRO New Left documents. This release provides small snippet of COINTELPRO mission to disrupt, expose, and neutralize political groups that oppose the Hoover administration views. The incident would spark outrage and catalyze COINTELPRO's future release and investigation. Controversial events such as the leakage of the Pentagon Papers and the Citizens Committee to investigate the FBI result in the need for a new agency to investigate government corruption. The creation of the Church Committee was approved on January 27, 1975 by a vote of 82 to 4 in the Senate. The committee, run by Frank Church, exposed many CIA, FBI, and NSA operations in secret, including the COINTEL program. After a year of investigation, they published 14 reports, including 6 books, 7 volumes, and interim report. The COINTEL program was mentioned in the 3rd book. Frank Church, the head of the Church Committee, resonated with the American people about the FBI corruption.
But the fact that the times were turbulent, the fact that illegal operations were being conducted by the very agencies we entrust to uphold and enforce the law.
For the first time, the COINTEL program was investigated in-depthly and released to the public. The book highlights many of the program operations, especially those that violate legal rights and restrictions.
With the courageous action of the Citizens Committee to investigate the FBI and the Church Committee, COINTELPRO was brought to light.
Is a abbreviation of the words counterintelligence program. COINTELPRO is the name for the effort by the Bureau to destroy people and to destroy organizations, or as they use the words, disrupt and neutralize.
The COINTEL program and the FBI targeted many various political groups and individuals, including white hate groups, black nationalists, the New Left, Communist Party, and the Socialist Workers' Party.
There is nothing mysterious about the manner in which the Federal Bureau of Investigation works. Its formula is a simple one: intensive training, carefully investigated and highly efficient personnel, plus rigid requirements in regard to conduct, intelligence, and integrity.
The many tactics and techniques COINTELPRO used to disrupt their political enemies include infiltration, psychological warfare, and abuse of power. The COINTELPRO did more than just investigation and surveillance. They used taxpayer money to recruit informants, agents, and civilian reporters. Because of the broad definition and qualification of suspicious individuals, many were falsely accused and written down on the FBI's watch list. It doesn't help that the FBI incentivized report by rewarding agents money. Additionally, there are many instances where the FBI tipped reporters to publicly scrutinize and discredit Socialist Worker Party candidates. COINTELPRO would manipulate political groups by spreading lies, rumors, innuendos, creating propaganda, and falsifying documents. Following the core principle of expose, disrupt, and neutralize, these FBI insurgents would instigate and foster hatred within one group or among groups. For example, they faked a letter sent by Lawrence Paul Stewart. This fake letter created racial division among Socialist Worker Party's members and also other civil rights groups, including the Black Panther Party. Lastly, the COINTELPRO had violated the Fourth Amendment by routinely robbing and trashing Socialist Worker Party's buildings, along with mail theft. They also violated the First Amendment freedom of expression by deliberately getting Morris Starkey, a Socialist Worker Party-affiliated ASU professor, fired by sending anonymous letters to ASU faculty's member bashing Starkey.
In most countries, spying and surveillance are necessary to maintain national security, but COINTELPRO crossed the line between legal framework and ethical borders. The program wrongly classified individuals as security threats based on their political affiliation. The FBI justified its abuse of power by claiming to protect America's security, democracy, and freedom. Additionally, COINTELPRO undermined the core principle of check and balance within the United States government. COINTELPRO existed without the approval or knowledge of the President or any other agency.
See no authority in anyone in the executive or in the Congress or anywhere else for determining on their own that the law isn't good enough and therefore taking it into their own hands. I see no way.
It is our responsibility as the American people to ensure that our rights are not being violated. Our democracy, freedom, and interest should be the government's highest priority. Without reasonable suspicion, we should not be suppressed or persecuted because of our political belief. In 1973, the Socialist Worker Party and the Youth Socialist Alliance sued the FBI for their illegal action of perpetrating disruption, plans informants, and burglaries. In order for the FBI to justify their action, they must have documentation and proof of violent and illegal actions done by the Socialist Worker Party and the Youth Socialist Alliance. Failing to discredit the plaintiff, they arbitrarily claim that the SYP and YSA are in favor of a violent and bloody revolution by condemning their teaching and praise for Karl Marx, Lenin, and Trotsky. Judge Gruesa dismissed this case, quoted, "There is no evidence that any FBI informants ever reported an instance of planned or actual espionage, violence, or terrorism." Continued. Thousands of reports recording peaceful, lawful activity by the Socialist Worker Party and the Youth Socialist Alliance. On August 25, 1986, U.S. District Judge Thomas Gruesa ruled in favor of the Socialist Worker Party and the Youth Socialist Alliance. This ruling was a legal victory and a triumph for political freedom. It symbolized the incredible efforts, courage, and unified actions of the Citizens Committee to investigate the FBI, Carl Stern, the church community, and many others in their decade-long fight against COINTELPRO and FBI corruption. The victory is a powerful testament to every American's responsibility to protect democracy. A successful and thriving democracy relies on the active and unified participation of its citizens. It is our responsibility to ensure that the government upholds the values of justice and freedom.